Hello YouTube, welcome to the DBTGamer show, and we're back with more Blossom Tales. This is part 2. If you're wondering where part 1 was, well, before Christmas I did a DBTGamer special on Blossom Tales, and it was for about an hour, where I just did the first training dungeon, I explored the overworld a little bit, and I did some voiceover with the grandpa and the story with the kids. And I liked this game, so I've decided to turn it into a series, just like New Super Lucky's Tale. I'm going to try and make videos about these games, about both these games, quite regularly. Anyway, enough of this update stuff. Let's get back into Blossom Tales. Let's go for a nice Zelda adventure. Lily knew she was close to finding the fairy clover, found deep within the temple. Go, Lily, you're almost there. That's a nice little recap to remind the player of... Lily felt the power of an ancient magical element from the walls. It was giving life to the long dormant creature inside. Yeah, it's a nice little recap mechanic which just tells you what is going on, and that's just really good. I like that. Let me just sort my infantry out, and we'll get going. Let's see, A, attack, B for blocking, and X for bombs. That works. That's a good system. That's the system I used to use when I used to play the Game Boy Color Zeldas. I used to have the attack button as A and B for block, and that's how I would do things. Now, with the Game Boy Color Zeldas, it was a little bit awkward because you only had 2 buttons to equip items. But it just helped me organise my thoughts. So, yeah. So, overall, what am I thinking of Blossom Tales so far? I'm liking it. It's a nice little 2D Zelda game, and it's good. It's got some more modern Zelda elements, like your magic bar recharges from, and that's was introduced in Link Between Worlds, and I do like that mechanic because it makes the game more challenging, and it makes you think about your weapon usage, and you don't just end up buying yourself a bunch of bombs or arrows just to sort of cheese your way through enemies and encounters in the games. So many swinging spike balls. This is turning into a bit of a bullet hell here. Oh, crack on the wall. Well, we know what to do with that. Explosions. In we go. Okay, open the treasure chest, and we get Lily found Essence of Lost Scrolls. It deciphers the Rose Chapel Blossom Castle. It brings back... Okay, so it brings back the scrolls and to the castle and the water. Disciples will build this temple near this rock placement, like to destroy me, the guardian of the druids made to defend the fairy clovers must purify and eek. Okay. For a moment I thought that was like a map like you find in Zelda, but obviously not. It's some sort of scroll which does something. Just trying to think, what would a scroll do in this sort of game? I'm guessing it could teach me a new sword technique. That would be helpful and rewarding. Okay, hit this, which gets rid of the red switch and takes down those red pillars. Right. I guess I need to backtrack a little bit just to get the blue switch, so I'm going to do that. There we go. Take out the green switch. One thing I've got to be careful is the platform floor keeps disappearing, so I've got to be careful of that. Otherwise I'll be heading towards a... Well, gravity. I will be gravity's bitch, in other words. I'll just fall to my death, and it won't be a good thing. Well, I've got plenty of feathers. I think they're for a side quest later in the game. I do remember that from the hour-long episode I uploaded last year. Okay. Right, I'm gonna have to get used to place bomb, throw with A button. Okay, it looks like these things can only be hit by bombs, and then there's a now the ceiling's trying to crush me. His temple's really falling apart. There we go. Got a heart. That's good. I have completed the odd Zelda game in the hard mode before, and I somewhat enjoy it, but it just depends how the hard mode is implemented. I did the one that I did, and I remember enjoying it, and was A Link Between Worlds. I did the hard mode, A Link Between Worlds, and oh dear. And the way the hard mode works in A Link Between Worlds is you take more damage, and that's it. There's nothing that's changed drastically. You don't have to chug potions all the time. You just take more damage. I'm not a fan of the Zelda hard modes where you have to chug potions all the time and rocks and grass don't yield hearts. But taking more damage, that I can get behind. You know, that's a hard mode I can enjoy and just get through and enjoy replaying a Zelda game, rather than just going back to the potion shop all the time and stock up on potions every time I start playing the game, because I'm just worried I'm going to keep dying. I know for a fact Twilight Princess on the Wii U is the Ganondorf amiibo, where if you press that to your gamepad, you can get double damage that way. So that's like a hard mode, I guess. But Twilight Princess also has like a second hard mode where you can't, where you have to just chug potions and you can't find hearts. What's also really crazy in that game, you can put the Ganondorf mode on and you can put the chugging potions mode on. So you are taking more damage and you're chugging potions, which is, I have to say, that's pretty crazy. I would like to see them port. I'm going to a chest. Got myself a red potion here. That'll be good for later. I've got 2 of those now. That's brilliant. I'm gonna hit the switch and now I can head up there and continue this dungeon. I've got a chest to the right. Oh, very tiny spider, but basically no threat. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I would like to... what is this thing? A resurrection flower. They are said to restore wearer's spirit where they are about to die. Okay, that's a fairy from Zelda, I suppose. That's how that thing works. Anyway, where was I before I was interrupted by... I'll get back on topic in a moment once I stop opening boxes and being surprised. More potions. Fine, I've got 3 other things now. That's more than enough game. He says that he's already died once. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Just place a bomb and hit the other 2 you saw. That's how that works. Simple puzzles. Is that a person? No, that is not a person. That's a dude with a bow and arrow who's trying to kill me. For a moment, I thought you were friendly, but I should not have thought you were friendly. That was my first mistake. Right. I'll. I was just about to drink a potion. Oh well, whatever. I'll use my healing thing. So yeah, I would like to see some Zelda games ported to the Switch. Which ones in particular? Well, the obvious 2 are Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD. You know, both those would be a good choice, and it'd be nice to have those games portable. The only issue is, one of the best things about the Wii U port of the Zelda games was the fact that you could look at the map on your gamepad and swap your items around whilst you were riding around on horseback or riding around in the sailboat. It was a really nice feature, and that was one of the best things about the Wii U gamepad, just having your items on second screen. Okay, I've got to do a scroll here. So yeah, I think both those would work really well. Just continue bombing these trees. Try not to get attacked by the vines. I'm guessing this gets me a key or something, because otherwise I'm going to be a bit stuck. Okay, that's that all done. Okay, no key, so I can't go that way. Which leads, I have to go this way. I haven't played this game since Christmas, so this is still a blind playthrough. Normally when I do LPs for YouTube, I play the game before I play through it. But this is a 2D Zelda game, and it's a very short 2D Zelda game, and I feel like I'm experienced enough to play through this game somewhat blind. I've watched a couple of reviews and I've seen, and the reviews, you know, all the footage that the people using the reviews, that's all I know about this game, so I'm pretty much blind. Okay, got my first key. Defeat that giant stone golem creature. Easy peasy. Gonna head over to my left here and open this door. Oh. Right, I'm gonna pick up my shield here because I feel like I'm gonna need it. There's a lot of these wizards here using like a... It's like they're using Razor Leaf from Pokemon, I guess. Okay, I'll just drink a potion. Alright, be a bit more aggressive and plow through these things. There was three of them, so there wasn't really any easy way to combat that. Let's see, I think anyway, Zelda game I'd like to see ported to the Switch. Well, a lot of people want Skyward Sword ported to the Switch. I don't know what to say. My feelings on Skyward Sword, it's definitely not a Zelda game that I'm very fond of, and I haven't really gone back to it a lot. I've only ever beaten it twice, and the other day I did try and play it again. So I was just seeing what it was like, and oh, okay, this is like a colour puzzle, okay. Oh dear, this is gonna be a bit difficult. Okay, I think I got it this time. I'm gonna use my D-pad. Just so I can get a little bit more precise movement. There we go, easy peasy. Yeah, a lot of people want Skyward Sword on the Switch. I think that it's doable, and it could be an interesting remake. But I can't see the gyro controls on the Switch working well with the game's swordplay. I I'm not so sure if that's going to work, because Skyward Sword also required the sensor bar as well. It required the gyro of the Wii Remote and the sensor bar both working in tandem in order to work properly. So it'll be a pretty tricky game to get to work on the Switch. Now, if they did get it to work on the Switch, would I buy it? Well, it's not just the controls about Skyward Sword that bother me as a player. The intro to the game is pretty long. It takes quite a while to actually get down to the surface and down to the first overworld and the first dungeon. It takes a long time to get going. So if they could streamline that in some way, Twilight Princess, they streamlined that in that remake. Instead of having to do the fishing minigame like 2 or 3 times like in the original, you only have to do it once and the cat instantly grabs it, and that's how you do that. Okay, got a rock snake here. Or is it an onyx? But easy to deal with. I'm glad you don't have to hit these with bombs. It's just a simple slash with the sword. So yeah, somehow streamline the beginning of the game. Also, there are points in the game where you have to fight the imprisoned, and sometimes these imprisoned fights are really close together. So less fights with the imprisoned, that would be a blessing, because the imprisoned itself, it gets tedious just fighting the same boss over and over again. Yes, it has different battle strategies in order to beat the thing, and so it is sort of different every time you fight it, but it still feels monotonous and feels like, well, padding. And Skyward Sword, it's a long Zelda game. Not that I have a problem with length, but it feels long. And and as a player, you just really feel it. It's kind of like with Wind Waker, where you had to collect all that money just to pay for the charts translating. It just padded the game out and made it take longer than it felt necessary. It was just tedious. But other than that, upgrade the graphics and make the game less tedious, and then you probably got a decent remake of Skyward Sword, or a HD remaster sort of port. Another thing that a lot of people want is like replace the motion controls with regular controls. Hey, that wouldn't be a bad idea, because with how the motion controls work in Skyward Sword, I'm not so sure if you could play Skyward Sword in handheld mode on the Switch. If that entire game's thing is you use motion controls, therefore you feel more like Link, and it's integral to the gameplay, and that's what Skyward Sword was. The motion controls made you feel more immersed in the game. I knew what Nintendo's intentions were. But if they could design some controls for Pro Controller and, you know, when you're playing it on the in portable mode, that would be a good idea too. Right, use key on this door and then let's see. Oh, right, this is our first boss of the game. Looks like it. Destroy the trespassers with failure with fire. Oh, okay. No warning, game. We're starting right away, straight into the action. So you press A and the dragon starts charging at you like some sort of mad snake character. Right, I'm gonna cut my potions to the X button because doesn't look like I need my bombs, and we'll get slain this dragon. I wonder if there's actually a limit to how many potions you can carry. Normally in Zelda games you have like a maximum amount of bottles and potions you can carry, and throughout the game you carry and you unlock more bottles so that you can carry more potions, and depending on which point of the game you are, you can get access to more of these things. But so far in this game, all I've seen is a place to buy potions. I've also been able to find potions. Got some nice, intense sort of boss music here. It's got a good beat to it. It's solid chip music. This guy is taking a real beating. He's okay. Sword spin to finish him off, and boosh, we're done. That's the end of the first dungeon, and we got our bow, so I can now attack enemies from long distance. That's something I'll be sure to try out. Let's give it a shot. Got a decent portion of the stamina meter as well, so I won't be spamming that too often. Is that the end of the dungeon, or was that just the halfway point? That might have just been the halfway point. Right, hit a switch. Right, well, on the note of defeating that boss and getting my bow, I'm going to leave the episode here. See you guys next time on Blossom Tales, where we shall explore more of the first dungeon of the game. Please like, comment and subscribe.